I think there's a wonderful openness and freshness in Iowa about how we handle people's vocations to ministry. We begin, of course, by the fact that we know all of us are called by baptism into ministry. And the question then becomes, how is that going to be expressed? And it doesn't have to be expressed through ordination. It can be expressed in all sorts of different ways. But some do end up being called specifically to be part of the ordering of ministry and be ordained. And but within that openness to the ministry of all the baptized, it gives us a freedom then to recognize that there's not just a sort of a sort of cookie cutter approach to priest and deacon. You're not all going to be in parishes. You're not all going to be of a certain age. You're not all going to, it's just not going to be sort of like just the professional model, which is helpful and can be helpful to all of us. But from a variety of forms of people in a variety of places of life. And so I thought it'd be interesting for you just as a diocese to get at a convention to get an idea of some of the people that are coming through right now. God is calling into ordained ministry, along with our ministry development teams that have sort of researched over recent months, and just to see what some of these individuals, how they view their vocation.
Yeah, so someone asked me recently what, really what I was doing in going, pursuing this path in ministry, and what I said was that I felt that it was something I could bring my whole person to in a way that I have not been able to in my professional life. It really encompasses everything. The hymn that we sing, Take My Life and Let It Be, it talks about intellect and practical aspects of who we are, and to me that's what's so rich and a really blessed path, that I can bring all of those things to what I'm learning and what I hope to bring to my church in the future.
I want to emphasize that God meets us where we are, and where we are often is a place of hurting and suffering, and God offers a word of comfort and a balm of healing. But I also think that we as the church have a role to play in that, not just in the fact of, a pastoral care of the priest coming and visiting his or her parishioners, but also in the way that our liturgy structures our lives. So we as the church, as the Episcopal Church, have something to offer to a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, with social media streams going backwards and forwards and shooting information across. We can offer a pattern and something that's rooted in history and tradition that helps us see our way through these moments of suffering and of hurt.
I feel called to be a priest because I see the church changing, and I see the way that people worship is changing. I get to be a part of the beautiful Breaking Bread community, which helped call me into the priesthood. That people are looking for a different way of building an authentic and intentional community with each other, and that a building doesn't, that we don't need a building, that people are the church, and I feel that, and I feel that radical welcoming.
But ultimately, what I want to do is I want to be of service to others, and I want to be able to work within the church to capitalize on our traditions and the strengths and the things that makes the Episcopal Church great, and also help and assist us to move into the future and whatever that might be that God is calling us to do, and to serve the people of the world in a loving way. It's going to be an amazing journey, and I'm sure it'll be full of joys and heartbreak all along the way, but I couldn't be more excited. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity to really work with this church as we move into the future.
My hopes for my ministry in the future is to not have a church, and I know that might change, but I hope to become a chaplain to the police, fire, and Scott County Sheriff's Departments on the outside of the walls, and also to minister to the women on the inside of the walls.
On the practical side, I hope to have a career of service in the United States in the United States Navy, ministering to our sailors, Marines, Coast Guard, and their families. This means that my primary interactions as a future priest will be with people outside of the church building. My ministry will take place on ships, on military bases, possibly even in combat zones. I see myself interacting with people in the place they feel most comfortable based on wherever that is available. I think this requires of me a certain ministry of presence and zeal for souls wherever I go. I will also have many opportunities to interact and interface with people of different backgrounds and beliefs.
I think that we need to find ways of seeing God in more than just Sunday mornings in a sanctuary space. So, for instance, how can we use our natural surroundings and integrate that into a worship service? How can we maybe use some of the social activism that is happening now around the country and be present there as a church body that makes it known that we as Episcopalians stand for social justice and stand for these kind of progressive ideals of equality and the care for all humans as being God's children. So I think that we have tons of opportunities right now. I mean, because of climate change, because of some of the conversations around race and other discrimination that's happening in the country right now, I think we have an opportunity to kind of become part of that conversation and become an important addition to that conversation.
It's interesting that the further I get in this process, the more the Lord has drawn me back into the art world at the same time. And the art world is a great mission field, actually. It's a wonderful place to talk with people, to share hopes and dreams, and that thing about always being ready to give account of the hope that's in you. People everywhere need to hear that. I can see myself interacting with people in the church, in our home, and then in hospitals, in nursing homes, basically, kind of like green eggs and ham. I can see myself talking about Jesus here, there, and everywhere.